Hi, folks. Jason Spoor here with Templar Strategic Solutions. And normally I don't necessarily do the whole embarrass people outright on something like a YouTube channel. But tonight, this was just too good not to share with you folks. Yesterday, the 11th of January 2023, we received a email from, as you see there in the header, a Bates Michael Wayne. And to start out, guys, this doesn't look any different than a dozen other inquiries we might receive within a day's time. You know, hi, I'm so and so. I'm in need of armed or unarmed guards. Let me know if you can do this. Well, this gentleman added in, or this individual added in, of course, whether or not we accept cards as a method of payment. And I assume they mean debit or checking. Which, yes, guys, we do accept debit or check cards or credit cards via our invoicing platform. And, of course, we use direct wire transfer, ACH transfers, like any other reputable business. Okay, so I simply respond to him with the normal good afternoon. Please feel free to give us a call. Gave him the office number there. Told him he could contact me directly. Gave him my number. Told him that we'd need to discuss the details. Then we'd be happy to provide a quote for services. And then I answered his query regarding his need to use a credit card or whatnot to pay. So he responds rather rapidly to that with this long drawn out email you see here. And of course, the first part being that address there, 1330 Ripley Road, here, right here in Spencer, which in all truth, guys, that's about 7 to 10 minutes down the road from our offices. And that would be an easy contract, okay? And then goes on to explain he works as a mechanical engineer with a yacht company on the sea, as in big water. Now, folks, for those of you who don't know, seagoing yachts are, in fact, fairly sizable vessels, okay? And he puts out that one of their vessels had mechanical issue out in the middle of nowhere, and yada, yada, yada. Needed their attention almost immediately, or their goods in the ship would be rendered useless, etc., etc. So he goes out, blah, 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 and he explains that that's part of why he can't necessarily make a phone call, because he has poor signal quality on the water. Yet he had no trouble responding to his emails rapidly, guys. So between that address, which I'm familiar with the address because I pass by it regularly, and I happen to know I had seen a for sale sign in the yard multiple times over the past little bit. Well, from there, he explains he's had some bad experience, etc., etc. And then he lays out that he would need us for 13 hours a day from 1800 to 0700. And he'd need that service for 14 days. Wanted to know how much we'd charge, and that it would be better if I could give him a total estimated cost versus, hourly rate, along with how much I'd need as a deposit so that he could get the ball rolling, and that he didn't mind having the officer there ASAP as soon as possible. Okay, none of these are, so far, aside from the address and his peculiar explanation, really that big of a red flag. But I was on the phone with Captain Jones at the time, and Captain Jones and I both agreed we needed to exercise our due diligence. So I go ahead and I just answer him back with I'll have you an estimate forwarded within 24 hours, okay? And I jump on my end of the due diligence. Captain Jones jumps on his. Well, matter of just a couple minutes, we find the address, because we always look at our potential client addresses on Satellite View, Street View, and Google Earth when we're factoring certain parts of a bid. Because regardless of the environment, we have a baseline rate, and then, of course, other factors incorporate additional charges. Mr. Bates here simply responded with an okay, thanks. Now then, guys, while I'm exercising due diligence, I call the realty company. The realty company tells me nobody's bought that property. It's still on the market. Gave him the guy's name, gave him what information I had on him, and they point out that no, nobody that meets that particular description has shown any interest in this property. Guys, that address, they're asking, I believe, $50,000 for that property, okay? That's important information, and you'll get to that momentarily as we study here on this project. But because I had that information and I talked to Captain Jones about it, I went ahead and I wanted to see how far this scammer would go. Went ahead and I just told him flat out that if we're able to come to agreement for 14 days, 13 hours a day, he'd be looking at approximately $4,400 in total with a necessary deposit of 50% for armed services. Work could start, as soon as his deposit cleared, but I told him that I'd need to send him a contract to be signed, along with him providing a copy of his current state-issued photo ID front and back, as well as contact information for his employers for verification. Did that because I wanted him to understand I knew he was lying at this point, guys. And then, just to make absolutely certain, I point out to him, additionally, the address you provided shows as an active listing with the realty company here in Spencer, and my attempt to confirm the recent sale with their offices resulted in their advising the property is, in fact, still on the market. Okay? Most scammers would have shut up and went away at that point, kids, if he was actually reading my emails. All he looked for were the numbers. Okay? Then this is where he starts showing his true colors. He asked that our officer in charge start his vehicle every 3 days to warm the engine up a little bit and let it run for 20 minutes. Then he wanted to add an extra fee for the property manager, stating the keys to the property or the keys to the house were with the property manager, and he hadn't had a chance to pay him before leaving, and he doesn't have the facility to accept credit cards. Guys, think about that. A property manager. In West Virginia, property managers have to have a real estate license. And I know most of the professional property managers around here, either personally or by name or by reputation. None of them are going to take that particular house, okay? That property is not worth their interest as a management company. But here's where it gets fun, and if you were able to read ahead of me there, he wanted to add his fees to my transfer or my charge so that I could then deduct my fee and give his quote-unquote property manager the remaining balance, okay? He wanted to transfer a total of $19,900, okay? $19,900 is my fee plus $15,000 plus a $500 tip and merchant fee. Guys, that's one of the older scams in the book. It really, really is. And here's what happens, okay? Supposing I'd accepted this contract, which thank God I am not that foolish. Okay. Money goes through my account. I give this person their $15,000. I keep my $4,400 to pay out my overhead costs and my little bit of profit on a 2-week contract. And then, or I give them the balance that they're after, my $4,400 out of that total of $19,900, and then all of a sudden that charge is disputed or comes up fraudulent on my account. What happens is the bank snatches that $19,900 back out of my available funds. Now, I'm on the hook for $19,900, and his person that got that remaining balance just ran off with $15,500, give or take. But yeah, no, see, that's where I got irritated. Again, I'm old enough to have remembered this scam when it first came out, back when it was the Nigerian prince saying he wanted to give you this, that, or the other. He just needed you to send him X amount of money, and people got scammed out of millions. And I don't know where that Nigerian prince is, but I'm pretty sure he might have taught this guy to try the scam. But our final response here was, no, sir. You may have your alleged property manager contact me directly. We will not be accepting any payment aside from our own contract fees. And I literally told him we're not going to act as a third party to transfer funds. Pointed out to him from there that, any legitimate property manager can or should be able to easily accept credit or debit payments via any number of platforms available or via direct wire transfers. And it really is, folks, that simple. And then I included in this email that we'd also need proving documents such as a certified copy of his deed of trust to verify that he actually owned the property he was trying to contract us on. Now, guys, part of the reason I do enforce the whole due diligence rules, and part of the reason, guys, that we are so strict about these kind of things, one, what he offered was absolutely outlandish, and any of us with a brain cell know that. But you see, guys, the thing is that, one, here in West Virginia, we're bonded and licensed to operate a security firm and a consulting company. And the last thing we need or want is an adverse interaction with local law enforcement or another local business owner. And while the broker and owner of that realty company is a good person, and I've never had a negative encounter with him, I'm certain it would make him uncomfortable and raise questions as to why is there a patrol unit sitting in front of one of our properties with an armed man in it every night for the next 2 weeks. Of course, then we're within, I believe, both jurisdictions of the county and municipal police, both the county sheriff's department and the municipal police, as well as the state police. So I've got 3 agencies right here local who at any given time would have rode by, seen me sitting there, and might have stopped in to find out why I'm there. Or might have been dispatched because the property owner or the realtor spotted a vehicle that they had no idea was going to be there. That leads to interactions with law enforcement that are not, in fact, just part of the routine job of, we called you to come to the property, because we have a problem. We're supposed to be there to prevent a problem, when in all reality, this gentleman was attempting to perpetrate a fraud against us. So I wanted to share that with you. And moreover, guys, it's not me sharing it to fuss or gripe. I wanted to share the laugh with all of you that are following our channel. And I hope, guys, that you've enjoyed it. And moreover, I hope that if any of you receive any of these type of nonsensical emails, you'll have the presence of mind to do exactly what we did. Follow up, verify the information, and push for details, guys. If they can't prove their identities, if they can't give you the supporting documents that you might need to verify their claims, guys, I don't care how much money they're talking, it's not worth it. Be careful out there, folks. And thanks for catching the channel. Remember to hit that like, follow, and subscribe button, and toss us a comment now and then. Let us know what else you'd like to hear about. Let us know what other videos and such you'd like to see. And we'll keep churning out content as best we can.